In the electrifying world of boxing, where every punch tells a story, one fight stood out as a testament to resilience, skill, and the sheer power of silence. Naoya Inoue, the Japanese boxing sensation known as the Monster, stepped into the ring against a brash challenger who thought he could outtalk and outfight the undefeated champion. This wasn't just a fight, it was a clash of egos, a battle where words were as sharp as fists, until one devastating moment changed everything. The challenger, a rising star with a reputation for running his mouth, had made it his mission to get under Inoue's skin. At the press conference, he strutted onto the stage, his smirk as bold as his words. He called Inoue overrated, a paper champion who hadn't faced anyone like him. The crowd ate it up, some cheering for the audacity, others booing the disrespect. Cameras flashed, capturing every taunt, every jab at Inoue's legacy. The challenger leaned into the microphone, his voice dripping with confidence. He claimed he'd expose Inoue, that the monster's reign was about to end. He mocked Inoue's calm demeanor, mistaking it for weakness. Little did he know that quiet stare from Inoue was the calm before the storm. Inoue, for his part, barely responded. He sat at the podium, his face unreadable, his words measured. Those 4 words sent a ripple through the room. The media buzzed, fans on social platforms went wild, dissecting every angle of the rivalry. The challenger's camp kept the noise going, posting clips of their fighter shadowboxing, throwing punches with exaggerated flair, each video captioned with digs at Inoue. One post showed the challenger laughing, holding up a picture of Inoue, with a clown filter. The internet exploded, some fans hyping the challenger's bravado, others warning he was poking a beast he didn't understand. Fight night arrived and the arena was electric. The crowd roared as the fighters made their entrances. The challenger bounced down the aisle, feeding off the energy, pointing at fans and shouting promises of a knockout. Inoue, in contrast, walked with purpose, his eyes locked on the ring. The commentators noted the contrast, one fighter thriving on chaos, the other embodying discipline. The challenger came out aggressive, throwing sharp jabs and circling Inoue. He landed a few early shots, each one accompanied by a taunt. "Is that all you got, monster?" he shouted after a glancing blow. The crowd reacted, some cheering, others waiting for Inoue's response. Inoue absorbed the early pressure, his guard high, his movements precise. He wasn't chasing the fight, he was studying it. Every step, every feint, every wild swing from the challenger was data to the monster. The challenger, emboldened by his early success, kept up the trash talk. He'd stick out his tongue after dodging a punch, wink at the crowd after landing. To the untrained eye, it looked like he was in control. Social platforms lit up with posts praising the challenger's confidence, with some fans daring to predict an upset. But those who knew Inoue saw something else. The monster was biding his time. Round 2 saw the challenger push harder. He threw combinations, aiming to overwhelm Inoue with volume. A right hand grazed Inoue's cheek, and the challenger celebrated, like he'd won the title. The crowd roared, feeding his ego. He started showboating, dropping his hands, daring Inoue to hit him. The commentators were split, one hyping the challenger's bravado, the other warning that he was playing a dangerous game. Inoue, unfazed, kept his rhythm. He landed a crisp jab, then a body shot that made the challenger wince, but the bully shook it off, laughing. "You hit like a kid," he yelled, though his eyes betrayed a flicker of doubt. By round 3, the dynamic shifted. Inoue's patience was paying off. The challenger's punches were losing steam, his footwork growing sloppy. Inoue, sensing the moment, stepped up his attack. A quick jab snapped the challenger's head back, followed by a right hand that landed flush. The crowd felt the shift, their cheers turning to gasps. The challenger tried to fire back, but his punches lacked the snap of earlier rounds. Inoue was in control now, his combinations precise and punishing. A left hook to the body made the challenger grimace, his taunts replaced by heavy breathing. The monster was dismantling him piece by piece. The challenger, desperate to regain momentum, threw a wild overhand right. Inoue slipped it effortlessly, countering with a vicious uppercut that rocked the challenger's head back. The arena erupted. The bully's legs wobbled, but he stayed upright, clinging to his pride. Inoue didn't rush. He stalked forward, his eyes cold, his fists ready. The challenger tried to taunt again, muttering something about luck, but his voice lacked conviction. Inoue answered with a blistering combination. Jab, cross, left hook to the body, then a right hand that staggered the challenger. The crowd was on its feet. Sensing the end was near, the challenger, now visibly shaken, tried to keep Inoue at bay with weak jabs. But Inoue was relentless. He cut off the ring, trapping the challenger against the ropes. A straight right hand landed clean, snapping the challenger's head back. The bully's bravado was gone, replaced by survival instinct. He clinched, trying to slow the onslaught, but Inoue pushed him off with ease. The commentators were in awe, one shouting, "This is why they call him the monster." The crowd chanted Inoue's name, the arena shaking with anticipation. Then it happened, the moment that would define the fight. Inoue feinted a jab, drawing the challenger's guard up, then unleashed a devastating left hook. The punch landed with a sickening thud right on the challenger's chin. Time seemed to slow as the bully's knees buckled, his body collapsing. To the canvas like a marionette with cut strings. The arena exploded, fans screaming, some leaping from their seats. The referee waved it off without a count. The challenger was out cold. Inoue stood in the center of the ring, calm as ever while the crowd chanted his name. The bully's taunts, his bravado, his mockery, all erased in one brutal knockout. As the medical team attended to the challenger, Inoue raised a glove to the crowd, his expression unchanged. The commentators replayed the knockout, marveling at the precision and power. "That's Naoya Inoue," one said. "You don't poke the monster unless you're ready to pay." Posts flooded social platforms, clips of the knockout going viral within minutes. Fans who doubted Inoue apologized while his supporters celebrated the emphatic statement. The challenger's team, once so vocal, was silent, their fighter humbled in the harshest way possible. In the post-fight interview, Inoue was his usual reserved self. When asked about the challenger's taunts, he shrugged. "He talked a lot. I let my fists talk for me." The crowd roared, hanging on his every word. The interviewer pressed, asking if the mockery motivated him. Inoue smiled faintly. "I fight for me, for my team, for my country. Words don't change that." It was classic Inoue, humble, focused, letting his performance speak louder than any press conference could. The fallout was swift. The challenger, once a rising star, faced a barrage of criticism online. Fans and analysts called his taunts reckless, his game plan foolish. Some praised his courage for stepping into the ring with Inoue, but most agreed he'd underestimated the monster. His social accounts went quiet, the clown filters and trash-talking videos replaced by a single post acknowledging the loss. "I'll be back," it read, but the confidence was gone. Meanwhile, Inoue's stock soared. Pundits debated where he ranked among boxing's all-time greats, with many calling him the best pound-for-pound fighter alive. The fight became a cautionary tale in boxing circles. Young fighters were warned, talk if you want, but back it up, especially against someone like Inoue. Gyms buzzed with stories of the knockout, coaches using it to teach patience and discipline. The clip of the final hook was dissected frame by frame, trainers pointing out Inoue's flawless technique, his foot placement, his weight transfer, the way his eyes never left his target. It wasn't just a punch. It was a masterpiece. For fans, the fight was more than a knockout. It was a reminder of why they loved boxing. The drama, the build-up, the clash of personalities, it all culminated in a moment of undeniable truth. The bully had mocked, taunted, and boasted, but in the ring, none of that mattered. Naoya Inoue, the quiet assassin, had answered in the only language that counts, a brutal, fight-ending blow that echoed far beyond the canvas. Days later, as the dust settled, the boxing world moved on to new matchups, new rivalries. But this fight lingered. It was a story of hubris meeting reality, of a loudmouth learning silence, of a champion proving his greatness. Naoya Inoue didn't just win a fight. He delivered a lesson. Never underestimate the monster. His fists will always have the last word.